right now, up about 130%. Now saying they're expecting its first customer deliveries for its i300 vehicle in Q4. This one does have a smaller float here, about 1.6 million shares. And they did have a 1-to-20 reverse stock split going back to mid-April. So keep an eye on ZAPP. Last but not least, ZNTL. This one, near high days, up 27%. No new catalyst on this one, but looks like it's recovering from a lot of weakness on Tuesday when the FDA placed a clinical hold on studies for its treatment due to some sepsis-related deaths. So ZNTL recovering from, Zentalis Pharmaceuticals recovering from some weakness on Tuesday, currently up about 27%, guys.
Oh, man.
There we go.
Go ahead. I mean, we could talk about it. We're on the same trades, man. $2 in the money. NVIDIA just freaking ripped. So let's go, man. We talked about trying to defend that level. We've been defending it all the way down, but that was a good one there. You can't just keep on buying every single dip. So that last one, we actually let it fall down $1 into 136, and we don't have 136 flat. We have 136.34. So the bottom of the day there was 136 basically flat. So nice recovery, but I mean, who knows for how long. And meanwhile, Dell. So let's just take a piece out on Dell right now. Bang, there it is right there. That's a face slapper. We snap it. They're like Thanos, although Dell is not losing half of its value. It's actually just put in, we just got out at 151.60. So that's $1.35 right there on our Dell. $1.35. You might be saying like, that's 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 $1.35.
Is not a 180 play, and if you're shorting the 182 half to 183, it's just a play down into 181 half. Tesla trying to catch a bit of a bid, and Apple for the first time, there it is. So Apple, there's your heavy wick bottom, there's your higher low. It's down 1%, but instead of trying to catch it as it's falling like an absolute rock, if you wait, this has been the bottom the last couple of weeks to 211 half. And this is where you're catching a bit of a bid. So Apple, going to look for the long into the local bottom. But if it makes a fresh low, we just jump out of this one on APL. Remember, this is still a weak stock. Down 1%. The market's only down 0.15%. The NASDAQ's only down 0.15%. The ES is actually better, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think that's probably.
Yeah, the ES is up. Well, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, the ES is up.
Definitely makes sense due to the fact that NVIDIA, I mean, some of these stocks are trying to pull back a little bit, and the weighting there on NVIDIA is something else. So, all right, so we'll...
Well, there's strength, just to finish the thought, like there is actual strength. I mean, Amazon's up 1% here.
Oh, is it?
Intel's actually up a little bit. The Dow is up 0.4%. You do have a little bit of strength. JP Morgan's kind of flat-ish. So it's not all doom and gloom. AMD is absolutely flying. Good thing we got away from that. Oh, I was going to mention Nikola reverse split is the reason why it is down 20. Not that Nikola needs a reason to be down, but they've announced a reverse split, which they need to do, obviously being a penny stock. I tend to think these things usually find bottoms when they do this. So 25 cents, 30 cents, I'm not gonna get cute about it. 35 cents, if I see a big bid and it attempts to bounce off one of those, I wanna try to risk under 2 cents and get some kind of a bottom here on Nikola because it's short sell restricted. Let's go to the desk, we've got Adara.
Keep an eye on the Kroger company here, guys. KR, this one actually did report earnings this morning. Initially trading a little bit positively, but falling down here. We are getting some guidance coming out of this call with executives expecting a drop for adjusted earnings per share in Q2, similar to the decline they had in the first quarter, though they did beat analyst estimates. So not a great outlook here coming from KR executives during their call, guys.
All right. Just hearing Something about Oracle. Let me just have a quick look to see if anything's happening with Oracle right now. Wow, Oracle's at 143. Are you kidding me right now? So I might have to. I didn't even realize Oracle was up this high, and it's even pulling back. So I had no idea that Oracle's up to 146 here. We're long this name like at 108 or 109 off of some of these dip buys. Not here. The earnings report before that where we dipped into $100 and had to average it in. So it's not like this has been a huge, amazing, successful trade as of recently. But again, a hold play on Oracle. Wow, Oracle off earnings. I mean, we knew that from last week. We had saw that and talked about it here on the closing show numerous times. But Oracle, nice move upside right there for that name. NVIDIA still holding $2 up. Dell right now, I just tweeted this out. And I mean, right now we're $2 in the money. I think we go higher, man. My offer on Dell is $153.50. So, I mean, I'm thinking upside on Dell. How about you? We'll wait to see where it goes. Palantir, I mean, let's go. That's another face slapper for me here. My highest P&L name will be Palantir, but it's going to be Dell. I mean, Dell right now is $250, $3 right now in the money. So we just gave you another one as we continue to ride that bull all the way to financial freedom, hopefully. Make sure that you do check this out. We do have, again, the podcast that we are all very, very proud of. And I just want to say thank you for all the comments here. And another one, bang, love the podcast. Let's go, Freedom and Wealth. Can't thank you guys enough for putting this information out. Everything's so positive. Hey, Alex or Alexia, I hope this podcast does well. Well, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe. Get part of the Freedom and Wealth podcast. Get that part of your weekend sort of look right there. And again, it's on YouTube. It's not
weekend or anytime.
It
comes out on the weekend, but you can listen to it on the train on a Monday morning.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it's not an overly visual. It's visually stunning.
Well, the room,
great.
But it looks good.
To your point, you can listen to it. We don't show up graphs or charts or anything like that. And we're doing that on purpose, just so we can talk about it and not just sit there with our laptops.
Not to harp on it too much. I actually really like that look because there's moments I'll be on the train, we'll listen to the old one, and it's like I'm just kind of like casually. I can have my eyes closed listening. But then if I have to then wake up the screen and look at a chart, it's a bit of a different feel. This one. I think you can really just be relaxed. You can be on your hammock on a Sunday, just doing whatever you do. And be patient with just one thing.
We don't have to go to Adara right yet.
It's just before we go to Adara.
The market is ripped.
The market just ripped.
Let's go.
And Apple just took out the bottom.
Let's go.
So I need to see green on this before we jump back into it. Let's respect that. AMD and, ARM is the one I'm going to trade. ARM is at VWAP. I'm looking for either 171 again or a curl underneath VWAP, but let's go to Adara.
Interesting note here coming up. This is coming from Cointelegraph, talking about how there is actually this analyst online here by the name of TED Talks Macro who looks at the correlation between Bitcoin prices and Fed liquidity after these Fed meetings. So interesting note here. Apparently, looks like from this analysis that as Fed liquidity subsides, Bitcoin could have a little bit of a rebound from its recent weakness. So interesting stuff there, looking at the correlation between the response to the market after the Fed and how Bitcoin responds. So interesting look. We have Bitcoin itself here continuing on its downward trend, basically flat on the day right now with this doji candle. We push up above 66,000 initially, now cooling back 1,000 points just below that 65,000 level. Ethereum here also pretty flat, up about 0.05%, holding on to that 3,500 level for now. Solana down about 1%, but everything else generally pretty strong, but not by much. Ripple, Dogecoin, Cardano, Shiba Inu, all up less than 1%. So bit of a more muted day here for a lot of these crypto adjacent names, guys.
Hey, thank you so much for that one. We will get into what's for lunch as soon as we get it, but right now, bang, 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 diamond handing. Look at Dell right now, $3. Let's do it. $3 in the money. $1, $2, $3 off of 150. I mean, Neil was just as surprised as I was when this name fell back in, and we'll just say thank you very much for that trade, as it is now P&L number one. And I keep saying that kind of stuff because that's the point. We just put Dell on at 10.20. And now all of a sudden, it's carrying the day for me. Like, these are the things. Oh, by the way, it's $3 winner for Dell. How many dollars is it for NVIDIA? $1, $2, $3 for NVIDIA. We have 2 $3 winners on right now as we speak. So we just, obviously we're gonna take a piece off here at the 50-period moving average. Yelling, the thing is, you can keep on yelling all you want, but right now, the market is coming back up to the upside. Your boy is long and damage is being done. We have a pretty small amount left on Meta. We'll wait to see that one. But there goes Dell, man. This one, honestly, wow. Talk about trading new names. We haven't traded Dell in a minute. And there it goes. Good job there, buying those dips for anybody that was able to sit there at 150. I mean, we put that bid in when we made the sticky note. And I consider that to be lucky that it falls back in to do that. We weren't looking at it. But again, Obi said something last week. It was a Socrates line, and it was something about how luck has to do with preparation. Obi, when he's on the midday show.
Luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Right.
Or opportunity meets, preparation meets opportunity.
Right. So good one there. Thank you, Patrick and Neil, for that one, and for Obi, because
Socrates?
Apparently it was Socrates. So the idea from Obi, I don't know. Anyways, the idea there is preparation and opportunity was both met, and you could find both those things right here at Trader TV Live, both on the sticky note with exact levels written down and or listening to us when we'll tell you where our bids and offers are. So we only have 20% left of NVIDIA, so sorry. 20%, 20, 40, 60, 80. So 20% left of NVIDIA as it comes all the way up to the upside right now. And again, today's going to be a decent day. A big congratulations. Again, to the leaders of the pack team. We've got Brankos, we've got Obi, we've got my guy Patrick over here as well. So a big shout out to everybody doing damage there behind us. Really proud of the floor as we keep on talking about that. Money being made everywhere now, and it's just, again, opportunity. The market today has provided a ton of opportunity, no matter where you're looking, right? Again, Meta, Dell, we looked at Chewy today, GameStop. Oh yeah, by the way, I want to talk about GameStop because GameStop, we missed it by 20 damn cents. 20 cents. We're bidding $23.50, and yes, we did it again. We had missed it on Tuesday down here when we put 23. So today I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait at 23 1/4. I'm going to wait at 23.50. Congratulations to everybody. You got yourself another one right there as the shorts get into the gates of hell there on GameStop. Again, congratulations to all, and to all, hopefully not a good night, and let this thing start to rip higher there for GameStop.
Well, I think you want a good night.
I don't know. I mean, if you're long, I think you want, you don't necessarily want to say good night.
Okay, good night. I get it. Good night has the connotation of
it's like good night, see ya.
I understand that.
Downside.
I'm long Nicola, but I actually think it's probably going good night. But thankfully, you can day trade. And when you're day trading, it's very different from holding along in Nicola and saying, this is going to be a company that figures things out and works and all that good stuff. I don't necessarily believe in that. But I do believe it had a hammer candle. It held 35. I said 35 or 30, something like this. It bounced off 35, higher low 36.5. I'm long 37. If it breaks 36.5, I'm out. It's just going to be that simple. It gets to VWAP, I start taking some out. If it gets to 40 and then 42, those are obvious levels. There's 40, there's 42. So we're VWAP, 40, 42 up, stop underneath this local bottom. Tesla's still figuring itself out at this 182 level. Did want to go back over to, I know we keep talking about the same names over and over again, and not every big cap tech name has been covered here. But Amazon, something about the Amazon chart probably it's catching my attention, I think would catch most people's attention. The market weak, Amazon was strong at the open, was about to hold like a bull flag there, and then gave it up, holds the pre-market high breakout price, and now screaming. There isn't a red candle to be found. This is not trying to catch a low. It's already caught a bottom. I'd say it's caught at the bottom, and it's done so definitively here on Amazon. I think if the market holds up, this looks like a great long opportunity. First stop, VWAP, but just try to join the trend here on Amazon. Up 1% into a flat market, holding the 50 period on the daily. There's a lot to like. And to boot, if you go back to Monday's trade, 185 this top, even better. Because that means bids over 185 can give you strength to fill in the rest of this gap. So on alert, I have not traded Amazon today. I wasn't even looking at it until I scanned some charts and found this one with a huge reversal off the bottom.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, we've been looking at Amazon also for a little bit of time there, and good look there by Neil on AMZN. Dell is now $4.50 in the money, almost $5, and still wants to go higher. What an opportunity that was down there at 150. Look, it's only 10:37. I want to thank everybody for watching one more time. Make sure you do hit. Where's my like and subscribe thing here? Like and subscribe. Does this work? There it is. Don't forget to hit that like and wow, and that subscribe. Man, the net is just like tick, 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 tick right now as we start to go higher and higher and higher right now. I mean, I just have to look to see what we're going to try to get out of here at some point. All right, so let's just regroup on Meta. We actually got part filled down there, so we just have a very, very small piece left on Meta. We really wanted 500, and then to hold something in case we did blow up or blow down to the downside, but blow up in the market maybe. That didn't happen, and we were able to take a lot of profit on very many names. All right, so that's going to be Meta. Check in on Google maybe. See, we did like that trade. Oops, Geo, what is this? NQ. We made a move back up to 176 right now for Google. You can see very, very barcoded over the last couple of days. We talked to this one. We talked to this with Danielle Shea. We've talked to this one with a lot of traders that we had on, and we asked Danielle to pick a stock, or I asked her about a stock, and it looks like Google consolidating and trying to break out would be something definitely to look at there on the day. But for right now, we just got filled on something, did we? No, we did not. Okay. So Google, I might go short against 176 now. Still just breaking through VWAP on some excitement, but the market doesn't necessarily want to do that. And we're right here on the 20 period. 176, a possible fade out for Google. Could try it. I do favor the long. We're $4 in the money on Dell. We're $3 or $2.50 in the money on NVIDIA, and 30 cents here on Palantir. So let's look for Google possibly. ARM, again, you already hit ARM, was great. But Google could be a fade at 176.
Ooh, fade?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Speaking of fade.
Do we want to go short or long? I mean, we talked about the market going red here.
Long, strong stocks, short, weak stocks.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only reason I liked Amazon was because the market's still trending down, and it kind of broke that trend down. Definitively, I would say. That's the only reason I'm into this one. Tesla is still working with the same area. It keeps wicking the 180. This time I wait for it to actually wick the top. First time I got stopped out and jumped back in. This time I wait for it to wick the top and then jump into the short. We'll play it back into VWAP as we go to Sector Watch with Adara. How are those banks doing? Kind of curious after watching a flat JPM.
Thanks, pretty mixed over here right now. BRKB to the downside, BAC to the upside. In general, though, we have a lot of names here. Grace, pretty much flat on the day. Health technology similarly mixed, so there is a little bit more outsized weakness from names like Danaher here and Eli Lilly to the upside. A lot of these sectors are going to have that theme where we're pretty mixed to flat on the day. Retail trade, with the exception of Amazon, pretty mixed here. Consumer non-durables, producer manufacturing, commercial services, consumer services, health services, process industries. It is worth noting that we have two sectors that are notably green that are not tech-related: energy, minerals, and utilities. So keep an eye on these two sectors, guys. We also do have, of course, electronic technology to talk about. A little bit of a shift here. We have weakness in AVGO, Qualcomm, and Micron, all of which have been strong recently, and some strength in AMD and Intel, which are usually a little bit weaker. So keep an eye on a bit of a shift in electronic technology. Technology services a little bit interesting here as well. Microsoft, Netflix, Oracle, all to the downside, but a little bit of strength in Google. Recent earnings name Adobe and CRM. ACN here, Accenture, reported this morning, so they could be on watch as well, guys.
Oh, we just got this. All right, so we did have, it was herbed breast of chicken, if you guys remember, on Tuesday, and that was really fun. A lot of us had some fun with that today. Yeah, that's what it said. Today's a pretty simple one again, and it's appropriate. Because today there's been some chicken dinner winners around here. And today's not bad. I don't know exactly what this is glazed with. Oh, jerk. Okay. Jerk glazed chicken. So it looks
I want the jerk chicken.
Just another way of saying jerk chicken, it looks like. Rice with quinoa. So yeah, I like that. Along with steamed vegetables. And of course, most likely to be happening. And ever since I mentioned that I like tuna on the salad. We've been getting a heck of a lot of tuna. So I'm gonna hope for egg salad as the protein. Now, with Sharif not being here, there's at least 14 extra eggs for everybody back there. So we'll see if that does come into play at some point today for the boys behind us. And again, big congratulations to Patrick and the crew behind us, especially Obi as well. You'll be seeing very, very soon. And he'll talk about, I'm sure, his trading. So get ready for that. Dell, $4 in the money. NVIDIA, $3 in the money. Palantir still trying to go, and Meta just back to flat. So what's up, Day Trader Cut?
Day Trader Cut in the house. I see Kevin Mendoza likes the winner wearing chicken dinner.
Oh, they all do.
Look, man, you had me a jerk chicken.
Yes.
Like I said, we get the salad, but I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna play any sympathy cards, but I'm getting that jerk chicken. There's no question about it. Hopefully, we get the high of the day here on Amazon, which is continuing to tear. So here's what's happening in the market. I just want to quickly show. Here's what's happening in the market. The Nasdaq is. This is the ES, but whatever.
It's the Apple, by the way?
Like, it's consolidating lower. I think it's because of Apple.
Yeah.
So there's that, and this is Apple heading low, which I try the long, and you get out when it doesn't hold, and you go into something that's actually strong. So we jumped over to Amazon. We're trying to get more here off VWAP. That's great. If it fails the high of the day, I'll jump out, but we're buying dips in Amazon. 1.5%. I don't care why it's happening. I just care that it is. And if that's going to be the case, we'll still be playing this one for the long side. Nikola. All right, so Nikola caught a bit of a bid here, but no push into VWAP. I'm at 30, I'm long 37. It hasn't really broken away from 38. VWAP's like 38.5, so we're just trying to grab that if we can. It's just an SSR bounce play, made a higher low. They're doing a reverse split. I'm not even sure when the date is. We'll go read an article at lunch to figure out exactly when it's gonna be effective. Doesn't really matter. It's just 20% down, and it held 35, and then a higher low on Nikola. So absolute moonshot. To the downside, unfortunately, for them. But we've seen this story before. Sometimes you get that catalyst and it starts to bounce after the worst news comes to hit them. So if it does, great, but I'm not holding this past the 42 level anyways. That's the farthest it can go where I get profit is the 42 level on Nikola. So that'll be 38, 37 to 42 if we can grab that.
Come on, Obi. Come on, my guy. Obi over here asking me if I caught any of NVIDIA. This guy's too much. All right, so yeah, just a little bit. All right, so we'll wait on that one. And again, you know, so happy to be able to have Obi when one of us needs some time off. So obviously, we publicly thank him all the time, but we'll just continue to do that. So get ready for Obi and Adara on the midday. Do we know what the topic is today? Volume, perfect.
That's a big
perfect.
one.
Volume related to level 2. We talked about it over the week that it was going to be tape reading and different indicators that are potentially not like chart based, but more time in sales, level 2, and volume, of course. Wrap it all together, and that's where you get that evil concoction of success.
The most underrated indicator might be volume. Everyone wants lines.
Yes.
Everyone wants lines on a chart.
Actually, okay.
Volume is king.
Volume is king.
Okay.
Wow. Such great support
I think
from
volume
the
is
technical team today. We are getting absolutely amazing support from the ones and twos. And maybe it's Ray's day over there. I don't know what's going on with those guys, but thank you to Ramin for continuing.
Is it really?
No, it's not. Well, it's Ramin's 1-year anniversary today, so let's go. Congratulations. To Ramin. So maybe she is due for some of this. All right, we got to put some more winning trades to pay for this. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. All right, so no, congratulations to Ramin for surviving the board for more than, or so far, 1 year.
So far.
Big movement there, Ramin. Congratulations on that one.
Awesome.
Nice anniversary. We'll get Brendan to buy everyone Starbucks today. You like that, Ramin? Just say yes in my ear. How come everyone's scared of Brendan around here?
You do better than Starbucks on her 1-year anniversary.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. What's that gourmet coffee place? I don't know the name of it. The one that's across. Yeah, whatever it's called, man.
Good Earth?
The one on the opposite corner. You know, you probably know. I have no idea what it's called. There's a gourmet coffee place. I just don't know what it is.
Is that what it is? No, the one that's the Greek place. Is that the Greek place you're talking about? I don't know anything about Good Earth. Okay, so we'll do something. All right, nice move to the downside right now. for the market again. And I just wanted to look at it. So we're waiting for 155 on Dell. I mean, we're playing with house money. I think if the market wants to go, that'd be great for sure. Yeah, or Tim Hortons. Yeah, we'll get that too. Glenn Smith, don't worry about that. Obviously, we're not going to get, well, I get Tim Hortons for convenience, not for taste. All right, so downside move for sure in Apple. Apple down 2%. They're losing some of the luster, right? We talked about what the tailwinds are, and this is why it's not on. It wasn't even on the sticky note, I don't even think on Tuesday. So, you know, we got to let Apple try to settle itself down. It is coming into a level of 210. And I already looked at the chart. I don't think, the thing about it is there's no levels. And this is why I was mad when I said, oh my God, we missed Apple. It's because we broke this level here, 211.50. Really, that was the only level of support that we had on Apple since this huge move up. Now you have the gap all the way back into 208. So that, to me, I know we've written down 208 before, and it may finally come into play. So with only 12 minutes left here, as I am very close to losing my voice, I have to tell you, I don't know why, but that's going to be coming into play, 208 there on Apple. So I feel like, you know, we might have to let the market settle down until that comes in, because right now Apple is sort of helping this broader market get down to the downside. So I don't think you missed the party on it. The 52-week high in Apple is 220.20. I mean, again, a bunch of twos and a bunch of O's. So you give that back in a little bit now, down $10 from that level. So a lot of people like Apple. It seems like today, though, it's going the other way.
Unfortunately, that's just how it is sometimes, right? Like, I like Apple too, but you got to wait for it to calm down a bit. Amazon just came out. So Amazon tried to break 186, could not do so. We'll wait for VWAP. I think the trend's pretty good on Amazon here today, so we'll work back into that one. And then Tesla went through the top. So Tesla came out as well. We'll slap the L on Tesla. It held underneath that 183 for a hot minute. All of a sudden, the market's at the lows, and it's making higher lows. I'm not going to jump into a long on Tesla, but I think it's reestablished this 182, and maybe you look at that for some strength. Anytime you see this, I mean, the level's good and all, at that 183, but anytime you see the market kind of hanging out that bottom, trying to make the reversal, you know, look for the stocks that are breaking trend as well. So Apple's not, as you can see, Tesla is, and then Amazon, I'll be looking for VWAP. It doesn't mean it's going to bounce at VWAP. 185 was a pretty good level. If it bounces off 185, I'm just as open to that as I am the 184 half. It just so happens to be VWAP. It's a line on a chart, but if the stock is trending up, if it shows me a better entry, we'll take that. And before we get to money talks, Nikola got to VWAP. Next breakup, I didn't get 40s there. It went to 39.5, so I'll try to get like 39.80s or something. And then 42 on the Nikola bounce play. We're long here at the 37-cent mark. If you're just tuning in, they announced the reverse split. I believe I saw someone in the chat say the 25th is the effective date of the reverse for Nikola. Let's go to the desk.
Nice move upside here for the DXY. Brendan was talking about this as well this morning. This really trying to push up here and take out the last 3 days to the downside for the US dollar. We did have a little bit of economic data. U.S. housing starts and building permits both lower than expected, actually to the downside, negative 5.5%. Versus 0.7% expected for housing starts month over month for May. Building permits month over month for May, negative 3.8% versus positive 0.7% expected. So interesting look there. Jobless claims slightly higher than expected, 238,000 versus the estimate of 235,000, but below the previous number of 243,000. Fed speak to keep an eye out here throughout the day. We're going to be getting Fed's Barkin at 4 p.m., but we already got some comments from Fed's Kashkari, known for being a little bit more hawkish, today saying that he thinks it'll likely take a year or two to get inflation back down to 2%, and it might be a little bit too high with regards to wage growth to achieve 2% inflation currently. So just keep an eye on some of that Fed speak and those updates there. We also do have worth noting, if you're looking for some small caps, BTTR is on the Amex. This could be an interesting one. Looks like it's halted again here. Initially was a news halt, then opened up. They announced that they're going to retire up to $10.4 million in debt obligations. This one's worth noting because it has a market cap of around $4 million and a float of about 480,000 shares. 9% of that's going to be short float, so definitely keep an eye on BTTR if you're looking for a small cap, guys.
All right, we have good news for everybody that is a fan of the professor, because the professor is in the building right now. So he will be there Obi, he'll still probably make an appearance on the midday, but the professor will take his seat back, and Obi will go back over there and start to clean up a little bit on his own account. So thanks, Obi, for stepping up. And I just said that, he always does. So you will be getting the professor, I think, to start. He just came in, he logged in, he's getting warmed up now. So yeah, I think so too. And if not, we can hold it for a minute or whatever.
Yeah, we're good.
Adara's locked and loaded as well. So yeah, I just want to say one thing because it could break. I do want to try Apple short 210. So I don't know if it's going to be for very long periods of time. I don't have the stop in yet because not two stops can trigger at the same time. So I'm going to wait for 210 to break, then go short, then put in a stop only like 30 cents higher. So I know that might not be enough, but if it breaks with momentum, it's kind of like the same thing that happened with NVIDIA, and we still have 7 minutes, so I will throw this back to Neil, but right into here when NVIDIA broke that 138, it never came back, until eventually it did, where it got screaming, but it went all the way down into 136. So, if we can break and get this kind of an action, that's what I'm looking for, a quick move down on Apple, and then we'll cover it. So I just wanted to say that in case you do see Apple get flashed in there. It probably, here, I'll call it back up, won't be for a long time. I would rather just take the short than the long. So I do think that the long at 210 is equally as opportunistic as long as you punch out. So you could go long now 210.30 with a 30-cent stop. I'm doing the other way around. I'm going to try to go through 210 with a 30-cent stop the other way. So just a matter of trying to trade Apple, off of these levels. And then one more reload there was Dell. Dell came back to 150 again.
So I believe we might have missed this.
We did, and I lost it in the chat.
Okay, so apologies, and I want to give a shout out to Sheely Hale. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. You're amazing. All the viewers are amazing. We love you all. Sometimes things get a little bit hectic. You're trading this and that. You're looking for opportunities, and we might miss it. And we never do that on purpose. And thank you to Bears versus Bulls for always keeping us on track. I saw a comment in there. I was also gonna point out someone saying we don't deserve Obi. No, you're right. I think and the thing about it is, when you've got good people and when you've got good friends, good colleagues, you want to make sure you do appreciate them all the time. We're blessed here to have.
I think we appreciate. I think we deserve
down the line, and we recognize Obi, he's reliable in a way that just say I'm not even sure I could do it justice, right? Like you message him, he's like, yeah, I got your back right away. Good dude. And I think one of the things that we haven't talked about AMD, and I've said this before, it's okay to be wrong. It is not okay in the trading game to stay wrong. That's probably also true when you're arguing with your significant other, right? Like it's okay to be wrong. You don't want to stay wrong too long, you're gonna get in trouble. But we got away from this when it broke out. I was playing off the week's high, and it broke it, and thankfully we just got out of the trade. Now sometimes you're gonna work your way into a reversal. Long AMD's now up 7%, and that could easily just be your worst stock if I try to fight it. But we took our shot at it off the open, but it's absolutely flying in. I guess Apple's not gonna break the 210.
Yeah, it looked like a good trade the other way, obviously.
Yeah, like Apple bounced off 210 in here. Still, look, man, it's still underneath this recent support of 211.15. Like that's the one place 211.5. That's the one place I tried the long. So unless it's getting back above 211.5, I think it can still be in some trouble for Apple. Sometimes it's more of a short the pop kind of play, but I want to go back over to Amazon. With only 4 minutes to go, I'm only in that nickel trade. Amazon doesn't really dip on that pull off the highs. Still looking for VWAP in there. We took one trade, bounce off VWAP. We'd love to get it again. But this might be like a consolidation up here off 185.5, how strong this move has been. So good look here on Amazon. I haven't found my way back into the long, but this is something that I will want off of VWAP. Nicola kind of rejecting VWAP in here. It didn't get to 40, so I'll respect this 39.5 or whatever it is, and just get some out in front of 39.5 if that's where the top is going to be. NVIDIA, higher lows as well. So it's not above VWAP, but hey, that's a wipeout bottom if I've seen one. Higher low. If it starts holding the 139 again, that was a pretty good level right off the bat at the open. I think you got to be looking for the longs as a default, with the exception of maybe Apple, I would say, from what I can see.
Yeah, we just reloaded on Dell, so we haven't hit this yet. Although we've had a couple of reloads, we're now $1 in the money on the reload. But there it is, it just faded again. So it went up there. It ticked up to 151.30, 151.21. So now I'm waiting there at 151.25. to see if we can get that, as here comes pulling back a little bit. We got to watch out for Dell. We already have our stop in breaking 149. Like I said, we don't want to play with, we want to play with house money, which is what we're doing, but we still want to give back what we've already made there on Dell. And so I honestly went to the 200 period. You guys know we were waiting at 155 VWAP, but it looks like next time if we get to 154, we should consider for sure taking a piece out there on that one. So far so good here. As Dell, we're at 151.25, one little push higher, and you know we'll get that. So yeah, we're looking for it. Dell right now trying to make that move back up. NVIDIA, nice call, trying to hold 139. It looks like that will have some work to do. Apple, Neil mentioned that. I want to talk about it too because we did bounce off 210. We gave you that trade. It's just I didn't. I was looking for the short. We mentioned that if you wanted the long on Apple, it was there at 210.30 when we talked about it. And quite obviously, 30 cents worth of risk to make 80, well worth it there if you did take any of that advice. So that's a good one. Come on, Dell, we're close. Oh, new position alert, props it up again. Look, again, we're 50 cents in the money on Meta, but I'm gonna try to play this up to the 200 period moving average and see if we hold that, then get out at 503. So the trade's pretty simple here for Meta. Again, good trade early, came back and filled us. The market on its way, bouncing off 20,100. Looks like it wants to get to VWAP. So this trade will average it back at 502 change, but then get out at 503. If we're wrong, we're wrong. We have a lot of stock that can moon here. We've got Dell that can go. We've got Palantir that can go. We've got NVIDIA. So lots of opportunity here. Let's just make sure that, we capture profit where profit lies. So Dell, take the dollar. Meta, take some profit if it comes back into the 50 period at 501. Looking to get more short here on Meta.
Ooh, Meta short. I mean, sometimes it's relatively weak. You got to play it. Someone's saying get into NVIDIA. Either it breaks this flag. I feel the same way about NVIDIA as I do about Amazon. If it's going to hold this consolidation, either it breaks it to get in, or I get the dip at that previous high. So I need to get 60s here on it on Amazon, or it has to break out the top. I don't want to do anything else. And I feel the same way about NVIDIA. Like either I get 138 has for the consolidation play, or it just simply breaks out of this consolidation and takes out this local high. It's one or the other. If you trade it right in the middle of the range, I'm not really interested in doing that. When we did, I can cancel these bids down here, 136. I don't think we get that one again. But we've had the bounces for myself and taken the profit where it did lie. So I want to be patient. It is 11 o'clock, and as mentioned, big shout out, Obi was ready, and then we actually had Sharif jump on in. He's ready and locked and loaded to go. It is learn to trade, and one of the most important indicators out there is volume. And Adara and Sharif are going to cover everything that is volume in the level 2 for you guys. We'll be back at 2 o'clock, but for now, learn to trade. Volume. I love our intro.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as
AMT stands for Aviation Maintenance Technician, the people who fix airplanes. Earn a diploma in the aviation.
Mahat. I'll get it right one time, I promise. We got Pitchbull, we got Mateus Lane, we got Benson. Good morning to you as well. Casual couldn't stay away, neither. I know you're talking to me. I'll get there. Oscarito, stock up. We got my man Adam DeLuce, a proper Paradox joining us as well. Killer Cam 1020, Pawns, the Fawns, Britt Ben as well. Julia C. Holiday, you two. The world's greatest moderator, Bears versus Bulls, always there in the chat. You were talking poetically a little bit to NVIDIA before we got on. What were you saying to it?
Well, I was actually saying, to be honest, I was saying, NVIDIA, can you do something for me? And then Sharif and I were singing Rich Flex by 21 Savage and Drake.
We were.
But yeah, thankfully, this trade was not her loss for me. Shout out to that album. I actually was able to make some money in this. I want to talk about why. So, I basically like this. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat about this. So we had this 139 area, which is kind of spicy. And so now my short bias brain sees this and immediately thinks short. But I was like, Adara, don't hop into the short. Look at the confluence. Shout out to Obi. Look at the balance of the evidence. be your own Sam Waterston from Law and Order and look at everything in the case. We had all of these bounces here off that 138 on a wick basis. We're holding the 90 MA, your favorite indicator. So just get involved. So I got involved here, 138.85. The plan was to kind of pop in and out here just above 139s, keep adding until we got that pop out. NVIDIA would not let me add anymore. I wanted 138.89s, and NVIDIA's like, I'll give you 91s, and then I'll pop like 50 pennies. How's that? And I was like, NVIDIA, if you're gonna get me the win, I'm not gonna apologize. Took out part of the position about, what was this, like 20 pennies here, 139.05, got the rest out, 139.30s, just based on when we kind of had a bit of a slowing in the book for the time being. So that was the deal there. Please just punch with this trade. Ready to see what else there are for these markets to give me. If we bounce off 139, I don't mind getting involved. What are you, I guess I was gonna say, what are you looking at, but I know you've just kind of sat down.
Yeah, I saw a couple of things because I had to get on the computer and do the upgrades and downgrades in the lesson. So I was noticing, and I noticed AMD, 7 1/3. What the bad word? What's going on? 41.2 million shares. Is there a catalyst I need to be made aware of? Here it is. What is this? AMD shares are trading higher after the company said the recent cyber attack did not compromise any critical business information. Okay, cool. All right. I guess that's worth 7 1/3. Anyway, today, I'm just sitting down for the first time looking at key technical levels here. It looks like that $10 level on Apple is under attack, and it just got up right back into the 10 exponential again at 11 1/3. Katina, man, and then it's dropping down again. Here we go into that 2.5. 210.10 LOD on AAPL. I'm going to be looking for obvious signs of weakness on this one, but not going to take a trade until we start the lesson du jour. I'm noticing a lot of down and to the right and trying to recover a little bit. A lot of consistency in that pattern. You're seeing it on Apple. You saw it a little bit on Tesla, NVIDIA, and the Future all have that kind of down to the right and then bouncing up pattern. Again, we'll have to look at and see if there's any confluence between any of these guys on the day. But let's just get to the lesson of the day. We are talking about level 2 all week, and today we're going to specifically narrow it down with respect to volume on the level 2. So let's get right to it. Traders, sharpen your focus. Today we delve into volume analysis, the king of the order book. Let's get right to it. So volume, the echo of conviction, just another fancy word of saying volume is one of the conviction indicators you should be looking for. Essentially, volume represents the total number of shares obviously traded at each price level. It's the voice of the market, essentially reflecting the intensity behind the price movements. High volume, goes without saying, suggests strong conviction, either bullish or bearish, whichever way you're going, while low volume indicates a lack of interest. So we'll get to how that makes a bit more sense with the book in a second. So gapping up, decoding the volume story. So here we're talking about news catalysts having an effect on volume on the book. So news catalysts can cause stocks to gap up once the price jumps above the previous day's closing price. That's how we judge the gap, based on the previous day's close. And relative to the open the next day. Volume plays a crucial role in interpreting the gap's sustainability. So what do I mean by that? High volume breakouts, right? If the breakout from the gap is accompanied by a high volume, it's signifying to you strong buying pressure and a potential sustained move upwards. This is a good sign for those who want to enter long positions. The low volume breakouts, these are the ones you need to be cautious of. When you get a break of a key resistance level or a key support level and it's not accompanied by above average volume, we'll look at that, what that means in a second. These breakouts sadly are more susceptible to being filled, meaning the gap gets filled, which was the price returning to the gap area, and there's less conviction behind the move. So here's what we're talking about. So we're gonna look at the book in a second, but based on the chart analysis, when you have a breakout of an obvious downtrend over here, and look at the volume bars to signify that that breakout through that level was legit. You're looking for above average volume, and you're gonna say, well, what's above average? Well, just look at the preceding candles. It clearly stands out in that regard. This one, the exact opposite. Look at the gap down, but you don't have above average volume. In fact, it's more average than, or more lower than average than anything else. And that area got filled pretty quick as it started rounding bottom. So volume as a measure of confirmation, or volume and confirmation. Volume analysis obviously isn't alone, integrated with other signals for confirmation. So we're talking about order book confirmation. So in this specific case, you're looking for high bid volume moving up with you as the price move up, concentrating at the breakout level. So it moves up with you and then it gets to that key level of resistance, that 200 on Apple before it broke out. And then boom, it ends up breaking out. That reinforces the buying pressure, which suggested overall, this reinforces buying pressure suggested by overall volume. You're also looking for price action confirmation. How does the price behave after the breakout? Does it hold above the gap or with continued buying volume, or does it quickly fall back into the gap area and fill the gap there, indicating a potential failed breakout? So look at this. This is an interesting one over here. So I'm not sure what stock this is, but look at the amount of size sitting there at that 700, not allowing it to break down. Look at the countervailing side, the other side of that on the ask. I know it's about a 65 penny spread, but it's a $700 name. There's nothing there to show you that, okay, well, the sellers are stacking up, the short sellers are stacking up, and they're really gonna break through that bid. So that's what you're looking for, an imbalance of volume on one side relative to the other. That's kind of the move. So beyond the breakout, right? Volume as a whisper, like the volume whispers. So volume analysis isn't limited only to breakouts though. Here are some additional insights. So increasing volume on pullbacks. So what happens after you break that 200 level on Apple? When you come back to test 200, are you getting bounces off the 200 with increased volume? And do the subsequent candles after that bounce back, are they also on increasing volume? So essentially, if a stock pulls back after the breakout, but finds support with increasing volume, it's suggesting buyers are stepping in, potentially indicating a buying opportunity. And And you also need to be cognizant though of sudden volume spikes. These can be quite bamboozling. Sudden volume spikes. Holy, I didn't even know Neil was on crutches, my man. Yeah, I know. I didn't know he was on crutches though. I'm just talking to Neil. Sudden spikes in volume, especially on seemingly random price movements, can be a warning sign of hidden news or manipulation. Be cautious and investigate before taking a trade. And so this is an interesting one of a high volume retest on a break of a previous resistance, now it's current support. So you have that consolidative area there for many months, and you know you have a key area of technical resistance at that 135. I think this is the US dollar and something. So you have 135, you know you have a key area of technical resistance. You break out that area, and then what do? You have this obvious doji candle that's a bottoming tail candle that's very bullish. So the price broke down after it had broken above that key technical resistance, but it was bought up aggressively. That shows you buyers were very exuberant to continue the trend, and look what happened after that. It continued up. So you never want to place too much emphasis on one candle, but when you have that break of a technical resistance and then you come back and test it and it shows you something like that, like extreme buyer exuberance with the subsequent candle making a much higher high, then you kind of know that this breakout is legitimate. Or, you know, it puts more, you can't never be certain, but it puts it more in your favor. So volume and order types. So we want to talk quickly here about volume and how it's affected by icebergs, hidden orders, right? So remember these icebergs that we talked about at the beginning of the week? High volume after a partial iceberg order fulfillment can signal to you a much larger order lurking beneath, which potentially impacts the price action. And I got a video here for you guys. I want to show you how this actually happens. So we might need to play it a couple of times, but and essentially this is what an iceberg is, right? He's showing you part of his order. So if he has like 1,000 lots, he's showing you 100, and obviously the other part beneath goes unshown. So here it is. Look at 720 on the ask. And then look at the amount of lottage right there. Doesn't justify it not breaking. Then you have to simultaneously look at the tape to know where it's printing. So let's watch that again. So look at this. 716, it's printing at 716s and jumps up to 720s. Not enough size right there to show you that, all that buyer exuberance coming in from the bid doesn't get broken. And so that's kind of how you kind of tell that there definitely is an iceberg order in and around that area there.
Yeah, it's a cool look. Thank you for putting that visual in there as well. Because volume can speak volumes.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, I think that's a cool iceberg to take a look at. And thank you so much, Sharif, for putting together that lesson. And yeah, happy to have Sharif here. Also, you know, if you like seeing Sharif and his mustache, you like talking about tickers, there's actually a way that all these things come into confluence together.
There you
go. And you know how you do that? I'll tell you. You go in the chat right now. You go ! Join. Shift 1. Then $, shift 4, and then whatever ticker you like, Amazon, Meta, Google, GME, I don't know, SMCI. You guys know what tickers you like. You go in there, you put in those tickers. You have a cool almost 3 hours left to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Voting closes at 1:50, but why not remind everybody nice and early?
Absolutely.
But that is a thing you can do. So shout out there. Also, I'm in a trade. I'm in Microsoft. I'm basically flat on said trade. Got involved here at like the lower highs, and I liked these topping tail candles. I usually don't trade Microsoft and Meta, just because the way they move is not my favorite. I always, I will only get involved in these if I see something.
A fraction of a raindrop, 3 grains of salt, at up to 100 times more potent than morphine. The tiniest amount of either.
I need that. It's kind of waffly right now. I would like it if it could Lego this indecision and give me that trade. Shout out to Eggo Waffles, I guess. But yeah, I'm giving this into 60s. If we break above these wicks here into 60s, I'm going to be outie. Right now, though, we're about 8 pennies out of the money, and then 2 seconds later, we'll be slightly in the money. So we're going to have to wait and see on MSFT. Tesla, I'm a little bit disappointed here. Not depressed-la, but a little bit of upset-la doesn't work. But here, so I like this short because look at this rejection of that 184. That's gorgeous. I got short because I like that rejection. We pushed up though into 184.20, which was my level, and it had a viciousness I did not enjoy. And I said, Adara, you owe it to yourself to leave. I left. Maybe I could have set the risk management a little bit higher, but just the way the book was moving, I know I wouldn't have felt comfortable in the trade, so I did what I had to do. We bounce off VWAP. I might take a micro long, but we're gonna have to see here. Right now, I'm not obsessed love with Tesla. Positive on the day with that NVIDIA trade. Slightly down on Tesla, but positive on the day right now. Microsoft, if you want to join, it's not going to be a $1 club. It'll be a 30-cent club to get out some of this profit. But if you want to join any club, Microsoft, I'd be more than micro pleased to have.
Oh, the puns were coming in. They were coming in fast, and they were coming in furious there. I'm just sorry. I'm setting up my side chart. No, I'm good. For the small cap gappers. So let's get to them, baby. There seems to be a lot here, Ram. ALUR is pamping 200%, to the good right now. Let's talk a little bit about this one. 25 or so million shares done on the day. The market cap, a deep $150 million market cap. I'm not getting any deets though on any of the short floats or the float itself. So let's try trade ideas and shout out the NOS boss on his crew over there.
Their consistency, whatever that consistency is what brings them up. And I will say it's following a certain criteria, following a rules base, you know, and having the consistency and discipline to follow it through and see it through all the way, you know. And have you guys seen The Founder? Have you guys seen that movie? It's the story of McDonald's. You know what? It was the guy from what's his name? OG, the guy from Beetlejuice, Multiplicity. Is that Keaton? That's Keaton, right? Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, yeah.
Yeah. So Michael Keaton plays a very important role for the McDonald brothers, whatever happened during that time as it was developing. And there was a point